For anyone out there still thinking that the court systems are going to protect us from Donald Trump, or that the conservative majority Supreme Court is eventually going to stand up to him and shut down his dictatorial ways, the Supreme Court proved this week that they're absolutely not going to do that, even if it means issuing a court decision that flagrantly violates U.S. law, which is exactly what that happened this week when that court struck down a lower court's decision that temporarily prohibited the Trump administration from sending migrants to third countries where they have no connection to. They don't even speak the language. They've never even stepped foot on that continent, let alone in that country. But the Supreme Court this week said, nope, we're getting rid of the lower court's injunction. So yes, go ahead and start sending people to South Sudan. Send them to Rwanda. Send them to whatever country you please, Trump, because that Supreme Court is only there to appease Donald Trump. So get the thought out of your head right now that this court is going to stand up to him. Donald Trump's bullying tactics against the court worked. They were successful. He got what he wanted, even if it meant the court had to violate the law with their ruling, which they did. Here's what happened. This case that was before the lower court and again eventually made its way up to the Supreme Court argued on behalf of 4 unnamed plaintiffs that you can't send us to these countries. One, we're not even from there, never been there, don't speak the language, don't know anybody. But if you send us there, we run the risk of being tortured, being imprisoned, basically being murdered by the government of that country for various different circumstances. And we do know there are plenty of countries in the world that will kill you for things that are fairly common here in the United States. There's areas of the world where if you're openly homosexual, they will kill you. And I'm not saying any of these plaintiffs were, but that's just a good example of what a government could do to you if you are not just like them or not what they want you to be. So under U.S. law, which is part of an international treaty that we had signed years ago, we are basically forbidden from sending people to a country where they could be killed. That's it. That is the law. And it's an international law, not just a U.S. law. Yes, we passed it here at home, but we also signed on to the international law. We're not going to send people to be tortured, murdered, whatever. And the Supreme Court said, no, you can go ahead and do that. Yes, we know there's international laws, there's U.S. laws. Yeah, we know it says this, but we don't care because we want to appease Donald Trump because we don't want him attacking us anymore. That is effectively what happened. And Tricia McLaughlin, the assistant director of the Department of Homeland Security, she was ecstatic. She said this: "It's a victory for the safety and security of the American people. DHS can now execute its lawful authority and remove illegal aliens to a country willing to accept them. Fire up the deportation planes." The cruelty is the point. They want something horrible to happen to these people. Because once that happens, it doesn't matter to them. They're out of the country. Reporters don't go to these countries to follow up on what happens. You're not going to see these people showing up on 60 Minutes. No. Once they get them out of this country to a different country on a different continent, those people no longer exist. So whatever happens to them happens. This administration doesn't care, but I guarantee you they're hoping for the worst with these people they're sending to these different places. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.